Boys and girls, look what we have today. We're outside. I'm at my love's, Cindy Hart, and we are here. You might hear stuff around the ambient noises around me. We're doing it outside. It's beautiful. It's kind of humid, but I don't care. I'm skinny and I like the summer. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid. And look who we've got today, boys and girls. My very special guest, Big Country Jason Maverick.
How you doing, Don?
It's Stirring the Pot
Cindy Hart.
And Cindy Hart. Oh my God, Jason Maverick, brewer front finger in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my sunglasses on today. I'm in a goofy mood.
There you
We
go.
want to hear all about you. So,
I mean, I'm not sure you don't know what you're getting into, but okay, let's do it.
Oh, sir, likewise. Likewise. I am full of shenanigans and I'm ready to bring them.
Let's do it.
I didn't get her on camera before 9 a.m., so she's in a good mood, and she was stoked to have one Mr. Jason Maverick join us, the fans on STP. First off, thank you for spending some time setting it aside in your life to kind of hang out, pull the curtain back just a smidge, if you will, and get to know one Mr. Jason Maverick. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
Now, we don't write nothing down. There's zero formula. There's zero runtime. There's basically zero rules. So we kind of just run at the gums, hope for the best after we hit record. So we just don't know what we might be getting our shit into today with one Big Country Jason Maverick.
This is going to be interesting, I tell you.
So boys and girls, I'm just going to yammer for a minute or so. I met Mr. Maverick up in Maine at VPW Vacation Land Pro Wrestling. We have good times up there. My love, Cindy Hart, she grabs the mic. She does her thing. Excellent at her job. And I've met some new faces. And one of them being one Mr. Maverick. And man, we have some fun up at VPW the 2 times that we've been up there. Not only that, my friend, my love, she makes her return September 17th, and we're heading up to Bangor Brewer. Bangor in the front, Brewer in the back.
See, that's what sucks because I'm not going to be able to make that show.
Aw.
Yeah.
You started off with a tear, my friend.
Well, it's that time of year. I mean, Dad's passing anniversary's coming up. His birthday's coming up. So I figured I'll take that week out of every year and go back home.
Hey, anniversary to the pops. You got to do you first before the wrestling. Wrestling will always be there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, our condolences with you and your family. And I know it's been a year, but that never goes away, my friend.
2 years.
2 years. I'm sorry. I apologize. So we met Mr. Maverick up at VPW along with many other new friends and whatnot. And boy, do we have some good times at VPW, more to come. But I'm here with Mr. Maverick, boys and girls. The kid's big. He's young. He's hungry. He's got a lot to prove still. Not that he hasn't proven a lot already, but that's what they do in wrestling when they're young, hungry, and upcoming. And Mr. Maverick, I'm just going to start in one place. It might be an odd place, but I'm going to start here because it's one of my most favorite moments already in wrestling since I met you. Pre-show, there was this girl about, I don't know, yay tall. She was probably about 10, 12 years old or so, or give or take. And she was standing up to one Jason Maverick, and I had to take a picture of it, and I thought it was the most adorable things I've ever seen in wrestling. Can we talk about that picture? Because it really does bring something to my heart.
Yeah, so mid-2018, I had just started training, and, the first show that I went to was in, I don't remember where it was. Anyway, so let's just first by saying that this kid is Johnny Primer's child.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I've always been good with kids. I've always gotten along with kids great, which is weird because sometimes I don't like kids. Sometimes as in a lot. So I think it was at the Skowhegan Fair. I was just standing there. I was watching the show. And these kids start coming up and they start picking on me. Well, I started picking back and, that's just what we do now.
She stood right up to one Jason Maverick and Woods.
Yeah, she was not scared at all. And I'm surprised because, I'm 6'4", 335 pounds. Why wouldn't you be scared of me when you're 12 years old and 5'2"?
I'm 51 and I'm about 5'10", and whenever I stood next to you, I wasn't messing with no Jason Maverick because you are a big boy, my man.
Yes.
And I'm built like a candle, so, and I shatter like peanut brittle. So, I don't want none of that action. Absolutely one of those memories as a fan that I'll never, ever forget. I absolutely adore that picture forever. Now, VPW, could you talk to us about VPW and Jason Maverick? Is this your home base? Where do you sit with VPW?
So I feel inside that VPW isn't my home base, but it is home, if that makes any sense. That's like
No, it absolutely does.
So VPW, that kind of got started 3 years ago, I think. It was right after IWE shut down, about 6 months to a year later. VPW was supposed to come around, and it happened. My first match in VPW, I want to say it was me, I can't remember their name. Crap. Anyway, so it was me and two other guys versus Rhett Titus, Larry Huntley, and another guy. I don't remember his name. My first match in VPW, and I'm kind of nervous, first time out there. Larry's, they're all like, dude, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I'm like, okay. I'm running through everything in my head. I don't know. Like I got in the match, everything went well, went back to the back, everybody was great. I mean, I enjoyed myself at VPW, but I can't really say too much. That's not in my control.
Okay. So where does one big country call his home base, if you could?
Let's wrestle.
Let's wrestle. Man, the amazing talents that I've seen come out of there. Now, they don't have a very long tenure as a promotion, do they? They haven't been around too long, right?
I've been up here since 2018. Let's Wrestle has been around since around that time, at least, to my knowledge.
Okay. What caught me very first off is obviously the name, Let's Wrestle, that it seems positive. It seems like it's going to be a party over there. But also the graphics are very eye-popping and catching. So that's what kind of really, that's what really took me on to Let's Wrestle. And obviously it's in Maine. I'm from Connecticut, so I've been watching their stuff from a distance. Love seeing what I'm getting out of Let's Wrestle, the footage, the media, and the talents that go through there. So that's your home base. Is that where you originally trained? Was that Let's Wrestle? Is there a training program over there?
Let's Wrestle wasn't like my first promotion. Okay. I made my debut in September of 2018 in Island Falls. It just popped in my head. My first match for IWE was in Island Falls, Maine. Okay. Coincidentally, it was against my old man.
Wait, your old man being like your dad?
Yeah.
What? Okay. Everybody calm the fuck down. First off, what's Papa Maverick's his ring name, if there is one, or name just in general? And number two, what the fuck are you doing fighting your father, man?
Well, that wasn't my decision. But okay. I think back then, deep down, I wanted it too. So he went by the name of Fireball Foreman. You didn't really see him pop up very often. But when he did, you knew Fireman Foreman's in the house. So
doing that match against your father, what's going through a kid's mind, a son's mind, as you are... what's going through a son's mind as you are going against your father in the ring? I mean, this is obviously a first, right?
Yeah, this was my first match, and whenever I was told who I was going to be wrestling, my first thought was, oh shit, I finally get to kick my father's ass. And then, you know, as the day went on, I'm like, it really started to dawn on me that this was my first match and I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
So, yeah, that night was.
Papa Maverick lead you through?
Well, I'm sure I have the footage somewhere, but that match was a disaster.
I got no control. I got no control today. I'm sorry, sir. So, so going against your father, that's kind of something big. That's kind of something big in your career. Not many can ever say that they went against, you know, their dad or even teamed up with their dad. Or that's got to feel a little special, though. You know, like in your heart, in the business, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see these memories pop up online, and it's like, you know, there's a picture. I striped up for a night, so it was me and my dad reffing, and we took that backstage photo. I'll have to find it and I'll send it to you.
Yes, please. I love that kind of stuff.
Dad and I did a lot. I feel like, I mean, at the time, it didn't really feel like we did a lot together back then. But the more I sit and think about it, we did, and I think that's how we got close. We didn't really get close outside of wrestling, but we were close inside wrestling. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, because let's be honest, I've spoken about this a bunch of times. When you're growing up as a wrestling fan as a kid, I mean, have you been a lifelong, basically, wrestling fan here as a kid?
Yes, definitely.
It's when you find one friend at school that likes wrestling, dude, you grab onto him like he's going to be your next mate for, like, your next soulmate forever, because you grasp onto those people that got or enjoyed wrestling when you were younger, because there weren't that many. So that kind of connection with wrestling, it's not always easy to find, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm sure in life, I know my dad and I were close whenever I was a kid, and then he moved up to Maine, and I didn't see him for, I don't know, 11 years due to some big family fiasco. But, you know, so moving up here and being with him was kind of awkward for a little while.
Okay.
But, I mean, like I said, I think we got close when it came to wrestling more than we did outside of wrestling. And, you know, I know that can seem a little harsh and a little crazy, but I mean, that's just how it is. We didn't really hang out outside of wrestling. I mean, I'd go down and, you know, we'd smoke a bowl or whatever once every couple of weeks, but that's pretty much about it. He'd send me some stupid TikTok videos or memes that he found, or maybe he'd be stoned or whatever, and he'd start sending me videos and selfies or whatever. But I mean, when it comes to like getting to know each other, like, I feel like maybe we got to know each other through the phone more than we did in person.
Okay. At least, you know, there's some type of bond within that relationship. It's not always easy. It doesn't always go as smooth as you would hope. But I'm glad to hear that. And I didn't mean to really stay on this topic, but it just intrigues me as a fan when you are so involved, like legitimately in the ring across. Your opponent is being your father, your son, your sister, your brother. Those things intrigue me a little bit more. Being within the family is kind of why I stayed there for a minute. And I appreciate you sharing. I really do.
I'm an open book.
Now, VPW is obviously where I've met you. That's kind of where I've seen your stuff. There's other few promotions in Maine. As you've said, Let's Wrestle. What are some other ones that you've kind of ventured yourself out there in Maine?
The NAWA, based down in Buxton, Maine.
North Atlantic Wrestling Alliance or Association?
Yes.
Okay. I want to be correct on it. And when we do the when we do the monikers or the acronyms, we want to say the whole name just because we want new fans to get on board and check them out and stuff. So go ahead. NAWA, my friend. Good times over there. like I've been to, obviously, I go to my home promotions around here in Connecticut. I've been to Rhode Island, I've been to Massachusetts and New York and New Jersey. And some of these multiple promotions kind of mix some of the similar talent within, maybe some of their own roster or some of the bigger names that they bring in. Do you find that in Maine as well, that there's kind of a similar pool of talent that frequent some of these promotions?
So when it comes to VPW, I feel like the roster is pretty much the IWE roster for the most part. I mean, you've got Ricky Williams, you've got Jason Maverick, you've got Lights Out Lee Miller, Johnny Primer. Who else do you got? Jacob Drifter.
Well, going to the VPW, I didn't know what to expect. So either did my love Cindy, because this is her debut a couple shows ago. So when we got there, we didn't know what the venue looked like. We heard it was some kind of indoor flea market or some sorts, but it's more of a yard sale or something like that. But it's in this big ass room. It's almost like a supermarket setting of sorts.
I think he
and
froze.
They just moved some shelving out of the way. They put the ring in there. And man, I was surprised. I didn't realize that, BPW gets himself a crowd over there. Because I've been to shows for 10,
Come on.
20. They got
Really?
a couple, maybe 300.
Piece of junk. Come on, unfreeze. He's frozen.
Who, me? Uh-oh. Am I frozen? Are you frozen? Who's frozen? Wait, how does that Frozen song go? No, you don't want to hear me sing. You don't want to hear me sing. I won't sing Frozen, I swear. I think we lost Mr. Maverick. I don't know what to do here. Let's see. We're just going to give it. Maybe that's why he didn't respond when he was talking to talents. I thought I was supposed to say something. Let's see. All right. Well, we're going to stop it. We are back. We were both frozen at both ends. So I was going to sing the big Frozen song, but you don't want to hear that. So I did sing the Frozen song. But we were talking the talents at VPW, and you were saying some of the, you were going through a list of the talents. You got to Mr. Jacob Drifter. I don't know how further you got past that.
Yeah, I think that's the last remaining member of the IWE locker room that VPW has. They've definitely also brought in new faces. Jesse Nolan. You got Big Cat Tyler Adams. I think you had Big Cat on a podcast a while back. Jake Hess has now entered the fray. You have myself, So not only do you have the past members of the IWE locker room, now you also have students of the Limitless Dojo coming in, along with out-of-staters like Ace Romero and Brian. Ace Romero is a resident of Maine, I'm sorry. So Brian Malonis and, Vinny Pacifico at times, Rhett Titus, you got all these newer guys coming in. So Blade Bandit, I believe I think at one point he was also part of the IWE locker room.
Okay. You've named so many talents that I've recently met over the course up at VPW. Boys and girls, just hit the rewind, a little bit and type up some of these names. We want new fans to check out new talent in different areas. That's how wrestling is. If you don't want to just stay within what you know, you want to expand a little bit. So jot these names down and check them out on the old Twitter and stuff. Now going up there, it is an eclectic bunch, because when I seen that Brian Malonis and Ace Romero, AC Baby, love AC Baby and Malonis, but together collectively, they are the VPW tag team champions. Are you shitting me right now? Who the hell is those two?
Former, because if memory serves me right, me and cousin Larry beat Malonis and AC Romero a couple months ago.
I'm sorry, I missed it. That's why it's not stuck in my one brain cell, and I apologize for taking that shine away from you. Oh my God, look at what I just did, boys and girls. Please don't kill me next time you see me, sir. So let's
Get
Thank you, Cindy.
I hit him for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Also, I'm Batman. Okay, I hit him with a Batman ball. That's why that's funny.
Is he alive?
Are you
Bat-
alive?
Really? Batman? Are you serious?
I promise. He's
Are you
coming back.
serious? We know Superman's better than Batman, Cindy.
No.
oh,
We can have conversations about this, sir.
don't get her going.
Yeah, don't get me going.
Batman is an orphan with no superpowers.
Listen, he's rich. Money is power. I don't care what anyone says. He doesn't even know what to say. He's like, yeah.
And I don't want to get into the discussion where I might get myself in trouble with certain topics that we talk about. And you got cancel culture on that stuff. I don't like to talk politics.
I think it would be very crazy if we got in trouble for talking about Superman and Batman.
Hey,
But I don't know. I get banned for everything all the time. So
don't get my YouTube channel shut down, you guys. Don't be doing that.
I've had 3 accounts on Facebook ripped down permanently because I don't behave myself.
If Lee Miller doesn't listen to this podcast, I think you'll be fine.
I love him. He's a gem, Lee Miller.
That's the second time. Oh, that's the second time he's been mentioned on this show. He'll definitely be watching. Shit sticks. I forgot where we were. VPW. New tag team champions up there at VPW, and cousin, Uncle Larry, cousin Larry, nephew Larry, distant relative Larry. Congratulations, my friend.
It's cousin Larry and myself, but I've had to step away due to some mental reasons. So I plan on coming back soon, but right now, Sonny Roselli is taking my spot, so I'm not really sure how that's going. I didn't see the last show.
Okay. So you've stepped away. Sometimes you have to do that. Get yourself together, rejuvenate up. And I talk about this all the time, my friend. You could be physically fit all you want. You could be in that gym 30 hours out of the 24 hours a day. But I'm telling you, if the upstairs is not good, this does you no good. You have to have everything as the package and get it all together and be right for yourself, the people that you're in the ring with, the locker room, and everybody around you, but mainly for yourself.
Right.
So, you got to do what you got to do. So in the meantime, you have somebody stepping in. Their distant relative, cousin, uncle, nephew Larry is still the tag team champion, along with Roselli. Is that what you said, Mr. Roselli?
Sonny Roselli, yep.
Okay. So they are now the current VPW tag team champions?
They are the current VPW champions. It's weird because I didn't have a choice on who my replacement was going to be. So I'm going to have to talk to Larry about that when I see him.
Oh, hey, you knew I was a phone call away. I would have stepped in any given day.
Oh. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the viewers who are listening, Don Kincaid as VPW tag team champion. That would be a sight to see.
I don't think so.
Woo! I do. I shatter like peanut brittle. I do, like for real. Wrestling for fans, it's an escape. We get away from the bills, the regular life, all of the work, the work week, and all of that good stuff. And I've said it a million times. It feels on both ends. As for the talent, the wrestlers that work these shows and sacrifice their bodies and sacrifice their times with their families and do drives that are hours away at times from home and whatnot, they feel like an escape for you guys as well, you guys and girls. I mean, just to like, I know you're doing some personal stuff, but the wrestling itself, sometimes that's really just a great escape to get away. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think I could say that for a lot of the other talent as well.
Now, you mentioned a couple names back that I just kind of want to pull out. We have Miss Jessie Nolan. She is the now current women's VPW women's champion. Congratulations to her. We have a Johnny Primer. He's the current VPWIC champion. If I'm not mistaken, that did not change yet. And if I'm not, that's all the belts that are in VPW. Is that correct?
Bobby Ocean is your current VPW World Champion.
Don't fucking tell him. Oh my God! Do not. I gotta edit this. No. Don't tell him, please. People, Mr. Maverick, my love, don't tell Bobby. Oh my God, he's gonna freaking chop me, and it's gonna suck. Oh, holy shit. Bobby Ocean, current heavyweight champion of VPW. Oh my God, an instant sweat just started coming over me. Holy shit. Oh my God. And thank you. She's praying for me. Oh, wow. My adrenaline just went through the roof right there. Woo. Sorry, Mr. Ocean. Holy shit sticks. Mr. Maverick, let's talk about the name, the way you present yourself, the gimmick or character, if you will. Let's talk about first Big Country. I mean, obviously, you're a big kid. So does Big Country represent your size? And are you legitimately from the country, or are you from like New York City and you just kind of made up some Big Country name?
So I was born in Corydon, Indiana, which a lot of people may not know was the first state capital for Indiana.
Okay.
Around the age of 5, I moved to a little town called Milltown, Indiana, which is about, I don't know, a half an hour away from Corydon. Where I lived, we only had 3 neighbors. And, we were surrounded by woods and field. And, as a kid, that's kind of where I liked to hang out. I went to college to study diesel mechanics and realized it wasn't for me. So I dropped out. But, my time at the school, they just started calling me Big Country, and I just kind of embraced it.
Nice. So it was almost like a collaboration of just, it came out in general within your friends making up a nickname, and it kind of stuck and you ran with it. That's
Pretty
awesome.
much, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the other part of it. Jason Maverick. Is that your government name? You don't have to tell us because you don't want like whack jobs like me looking you up and stuff. Jason Maverick, is that your government name? And if not, where does that derive from?
No, my government last name is Gleitz. But weirdly enough, I get up here and everybody's calling my dad Gleitz. Said, that's not our name. He says, get used to it. So I'm not really exactly sure how I came up with Jason Maverick. I could have been stoned somewhere, sitting in my room thinking, I don't know. But I had that name. I had that name in the IWE, and it's just something I throughout my career so
far. Maverick seems country. It kind of flows as as you say it. It all works together. The gear. Where does it? Because sometimes what you wear to the ring, some of it represents maybe a passing of a loved one or something that you've grown up with, or does the gear that you wear, does it represent anything? Is there any, representation there?
So I'm trying to get some new gear, but the current gear that I've been wearing, so you got the black shorts, the black singlet, the red writing, and the white antlers. What I originally wanted for that gear was to be all red and white. And I say red and white because, back home, all the Gleitzes, every single one of them was a big IU fan. And if people that don't know NCAA basketball, that's the Indiana Hoosiers.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I wanted to base that off of, but I don't like. And, if you have an accident in the ring and you're wearing white, that can be a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I just went with the black and red.
And they do say, I mean, obviously white gets dirtiest the quickest. So you try to stay away from the white, when you're looking at, that's what I've just been told, is you kind of lean away from it. Unless, it makes you look beautiful and, brings a package together. That's one thing, but are you looking to branch out? Because I have seen you just in Maine on graphics and whatnot. Are you looking to branch out, or have you branched out beyond Maine so far?
I did a show. I went down with MSP a few months back. I think it was in April. We went down and we did a show in Jersey, but that's about as far as I branched out. I would like to branch out, but the thing is, I need to get my head on straight. I just can't go back and be, oh, I'm here just because it gives me something to do. I need to go back because it's what I want to do.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's just the headspace is not in the right. It's not where it's at, and I just need to get that back on track.
Nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. As I say, wrestling will be there when you come back. Support system. I love to talk about that on Stirring the Pot, because without it, I mean, to become a singles wrestler, it's very hard to persevere with everything that entails to become a singles wrestler, or any type of wrestler for that fact. Do you have a support system behind you? May it be peers or family members or a spouse or anything like that? What do you got going on for a support system?
I mean, I've got a few friends. My friend Cindy Darling and my friend Nakia. She's the ring announcer for VPW. They've pretty much been my biggest supporters outside of my mother.
Okay.
My girlfriend, she's not really a wrestling fan, so she can't. I mean, obviously she supports what I'm doing, but you're not going to see her come to shows and get all cheery and all that good stuff. And I honestly think it's good that I got a companion that's not into the business. So
you feel it's a good because we both know that could get a little sticky at times. So it's good. It's good to have.
It is what it is. I mean, if she gets jealous, she gets jealous. But I'm not gonna stop doing what I like to do just because you don't like something. Like, if you don't like it, you know what they say.
Right, but I think the more of the point that I was trying to make was, if both, and sometimes it goes both ways, the pros and cons. If you have your spouse or better half that's within the business, all depending on where you're working and how it's going and stuff, things kind of get weird and sticky, especially when you have to go back home and deal with those situations where you get to separate a bit more than some do. You know what I'm saying? To where she's not within or doesn't even really have a fond fandom for wrestling. So you can keep it separate, Do you have siblings or by chance?
I have two siblings. My sister and my stepbrother, they're back home. And then you got that damned Lee Miller, who's convinced that my dad adopted him, so that makes him my brother too.
Okay. First off, if you don't mind, the sun is starting to move out. We're just going to unplug this, and I know I probably blocked that. Well, we're going to unplug that and scoop back a little into the shade. Can we do that, sir? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's cool.
Woo. We're going to push back over here.
Is my camera plugged in?
It was plugged in, but now it's not. We're good.
Okay. Because I'm frozen on my end.
Yes, you are frozen, but we have been doing the audio. I mean, are we still good by doing this? Are you all right with that?
I just didn't know if it was my phone going wonky.
No, when it started, I'm like, we're having a great conversation. I don't want to F it all up again. So I just continued. I mean, if you want to stop and I can call you back, we could try that if you want. That's up to you.
Oh, well, all right. Well, we can continue. I don't care.
All right. Awesome. That damn Lee Miller. And boy, oh boy, that's turned into something. Yeah, well, what is going on over there? Because there was some chatter when I was talking about having one big country on STP. Talk to us about that chatter that was happening, because I know you've seen it, right?
Oh, I see. Unfortunately, I have the misfortune of seeing his face every day.
That damn Lee Miller?
That damn Lee Miller, every single day.
My condolences, sir. So he's, what are we talking? He's your adopted brother by proxy, if you will?
Yeah, he's my imaginary adopted brother. I keep telling him, I said, I have not seen any paperwork confirming this.
Yeah, no legal documents. Uh, shit, that's awesome. The reason why I bring it up, has any of your family seen you wrestle live since you've been a professional wrestler?
My mother, my stepbrother, and my stepfather have. I went home last September, as I always do, and there was a promotion out there called Primitive Pro Wrestling. It's based out of Bedford, Indiana.
Okay.
They had me down for a couple of shows, and my family came and watched. So
Nice.
my mom was like a little schoolgirl.
Were was there cheering for their big country, Jason Maverick? What was their takeaway? You know, I'm sure you guys talked about it post event. Say they went to their first one that you're
Mhm.
just speaking of. What was their takeaway from it? Was it like, you're absolutely effing crazy? What the hell you doing, and all of this, or was it like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do stuff like that?
Well, it's a little weird because, growing up, I was never allowed to watch wrestling at my mother's house due to the fact that I tried to pile drive my sister when we were 4 years old.
Oh,
So I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling. I wasn't allowed to play, the wrestling figures. I wasn't allowed to do anything concerning wrestling.
all right.
I go to my dad's house. Now that's a different story. So, no, my mom definitely supports me now that she knows that I was getting, the right training, the correct training, and not just going out and just trying it, not knowing what you're doing.
Right.
Or just trying to kill your sister. I don't.
Boys and girls do that.
Yeah. Well, my grandmother, my dad's mother, Joey Gleats' mother, is not a fan, and she is not a supporter of me doing this. I remember growing up, she always used to gripe and bitch about how my dad got me into wrestling. I told her I was moving up to Maine. She says, "Don't let your dad get you into that wrestling shit." Well, now you see what happened. So, I mean, there's kind of a mixed feeling if you're going to look at it from a entire family standpoint.
Right. Yeah. Always kind of mixed for the most part when I talk about this topic. To be honest, when you dive through the family, it does get quite mixed because so many people just scoff at wrestling or what have you, or just don't get it or believe it, or believe in it or what have you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, always mixed feelings there. Let's talk about you kind of getting that fandom of wrestling. What are you watching growing up? Is it WCW, WWE? What time frame are you checking out wrestling and growing up and being a fan here?
So I've been watching wrestling since the day I was born, pretty much. My dad was a big wrestling fan. He'd always watch it on TV and all this stuff. I remember we were sitting in an old apartment one time, and he had the Nintendo 64 on, and he was playing a wrestling game on that. And he listen, when I tell you that this man collected wrestling figures, I'm not lying when I said he collected wrestling figures. Whenever I was going through his belongings after he passed away, there were hundreds of wrestling figures. So, obviously he grew up a big fan. And then, being around him whenever I was younger, I became a wrestling fan. And I really didn't watch WCW. I was more of a WWE guy. But around the time I was 9 years old, I was kind of introduced to Impact or TNA. And I didn't really watch much of it unless my stepdad was watching it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the dub, some of the and I don't even talk influences. I usually just talk of some of your fave wrestlers that you remember growing up and seeing and catching your eyes, just catching and be like, oh my God, I love wrestling because of maybe said The Rock, the Stone Colds, or what have you. Give us a few of the names that really caught you and just you were always just so excited to see on TV.
So my all-time favorite wrestler, and I get laughed at a lot for saying who this wrestler, but my favorite wrestler of all time is Kurt Angle, hands down. Kurt Angle.
Why would people laugh at that? I love me some fucking Kurt Angle.
Well, my uncle, he's he's a wrestling fan too. You know, he grew up, you know, the WCW, the 80s and 90s wrestling. So, you know, he asked me, he's like, who's your favorite wrestler one day? And I told him Kurt freaking Angle. And he just looked at me and laughed. He says, Kurt Angle, he's such a wussy. So, and I've had, you know, others besides Kurt Angle growing up. Back then, I really hated Randy Orton and Edge. I hated them with a passion. But I'd always look forward to seeing them on TV.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, I like Jeff Hardy. I like John Cena. I mean, everybody liked John Cena as a kid. My favorite tag team was DX.
Okay. Characters, big, larger than life characters, my friend. Oh wow. We've got shenanigans happening. So like myself, I'm an older guy, so I'm kind of like in the 70s and into the 80s growing up and watching it. So I was more of an AWA, WCCW and stuff like that, and NWA growing up and stuff like that. So I mean, I love to talk all eras of wrestling, but it's become so different over the years. When you're watching, or do you watch the current product? And when you do, what are you turning on? Because there's so much to choose from nowadays.
Can you repeat the past minute, please? Because
Oh no!
Hello?
Yeah, I think
I can hear him. Can't see him.
There we go. It's going. Well, boys and girls, we're not stopping. We're gonna hang up. We're gonna call him back yet again. Boys and girls, we got him back. But yet we even have a visual, and we are going to continue. We don't stop. We push through. We kick out of two, and we push through. So we were talking the characters that were some of your favorites in WWE at the time, and then I was talking about in my era when I was growing up was the WCCW, AWA, NWA, those kind of days. And my guy was like a Tom Morocco. Really, to be honest with you, that dude could sell me on anything. Good guy, bad guy, no matter what. He just sold me on everything. But the names you were mentioning, big, huge, larger than life, identities and characters. That's what wrestling is about, my man.
Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, I liked. I was kind of the oddball with the characters because you had Kurt Angle and then you had your Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, who were like your little guys, right? And then you got my other selection, John Cena and DX and Orton and Edge. I feel like they could be put in a different category if you're looking at size or whatever.
Now, being a big guy, I noticed you didn't mention any of the bigger stars throughout the course. They didn't really catch, they didn't really catch your eye much.
No, they didn't. I mean, believe it or not, I used to not be big. I used to be a little fella. Okay. But as a kid, I always thought the bigger guys were boring. Like I thought Big Show was boring, and Mark Henry was boring, and Khali was boring. I always thought that they were boring.
Okay.
But now you have guys like Keith Lee, Samoa Joe. I love those guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you, my man. That's for sure. What they do in the ring is just absolutely amazing. So let's kind of talk about big picture for one. Big country, Jason Maverick. Is this something now? We were talking 2018 is when you were getting into it. It's only been about 4 years or so right now. Where is the big picture? Do you stay on the independent scene? Is it something that you want to get onto these bigger platforms and be on TV and make a livelihood with it? Where are we at with this?
I mean, I'm going to take it as far as I can get it, really. I mean, I've told people on the likes of Randy Carver Jr., I said, if my career ended right now, I'd be totally okay with it. I'd be totally okay with it ending on the indie scene. If I made it to, like, say, Impact or AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE or whatever, I'd be satisfied with that. Like, I've never really been confident in myself. I've always kind of, like, second guessed myself. I've always, thought that I'm not good enough. So I take what I can get.
Okay. Being up in Maine, I know things aren't close, relatively close together. So going on the drives and going to some of these promotions, are you usually going solo, or are some of the boys with you and or girls? And if you're not going solo and you have some carpool companions, is there any stories that you could give us, the fans? Because I know it's only been a short tenure right now. It doesn't have to be nothing illegal. We don't want nobody getting arrested. But is there anything that you can maybe share with the fans that kind of tickles you, that you can remember offhand?
So I've always ridden to and from shows with that damn Lee Miller.
Oh my God, are you shitting me? I'm so sorry.
When my dad was still alive, my dad would ride with us. And so there's this one story that I remember perfectly. I don't really remember a lot of any other stories, but this one story, it sticks because it was when I first started, and we were on our way home from a show. My dad's sitting there. He goes, you only got a little wiener because when you were circumcised, your mom told him to take extra. I called my mom right then and there, and I cussed my mama out, and all my mama did was laugh.
Oh man.
So,
whew, thank you for that one. These aren't the things we hear at the merch tables, my friends.
you said anything goes. You
Yeah.
asked the story, and that's the only story I can remember. So, it's inappropriate. I apologize.
We've had Mr. JP O'Reilly on the show at one point. Mr. O'Reilly likes to get bloody. The weaponry and all of these foreign objects that can get dangerous and very questionable within said parameters of the ring set. Is that something you've ever dove into? Was a little hardcore stuff, or are you not forward, or where are we at with that kind of stuff?
You're gonna love this. Okay, so a few months back, it was Ryan Michaels Colson's. It was a Ryan Michaels Colson show, and it was me versus that damn Lee Miller in a kendo stick match.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'll have to send you the link. And we beat the snot out of each other with those kendo sticks.
Wow.
As for continuing any kind of hardcore wrestling, I'm open to it. I'm not gonna say no.
Okay.
If the opportunity presents itself, I'll take the opportunity. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to bleed a little bit. Although, don't tell JP O'Reilly, but I'm sure I'd kick his ass too.
Oh shit! I didn't say it. He did. I did not. I swear. I did not. I want to go. I want to go back a little bit to the likes of Bobby Ocean, because it did spark something with me. The second time that I went to VPW, you got a shot at the big belt, the big champ, Bobby Ocean. Did you not?
I did, and honestly, I'm not trying to make Larry sound bad or anything, but if it wasn't for Larry Huntley, I'd be VPW World Champion right now.
Oh wow. If you could digress with the fans, what are we talking here?
So Larry was trying to help me. He was trying to talk me down. I don't remember, the adrenaline. So Larry was up on the apron talking to me, right? Trying to, pump me up, cheer me on, whatever. I guess Bobby came after me. and I moved, and he hit Larry. I hit Larry. Sorry, I hit Larry. Because he was jacking with Bobby. I came in, and I accidentally hit Larry, and then I turned around, and Bobby hit me with, I want to say it was a spinning leg kick, I think it was, and he got the victory over me. So I honestly deep down feel that if it wasn't for Larry being on the apron, I would be your Vacation Land Pro Wrestling World Champion.
Has the higher ups in VPW discussed at all maybe a rematch for one big country? Because like you said, it didn't really work out. Do you think you deserve a rematch? And have you heard anything from the higher ups about maybe getting that together?
I haven't heard anything from management really. Right after
and
that,
I know you're on a break. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything from management yet. A month or two after that world title match, they put me and Larry up against AC and Brian Malonis for the tag titles, which we won. But as far as hearing anything about a rematch for the VPW World Title, I have heard nothing.
Okay. Just trying to get.
It's ridiculous because I'm Jason effing Maverick. I'm the big boy who can move because 6'4", 340 pounds. I shouldn't be able to move like I can.
It's a big dude, very big dude. Just trying to get whatever information I can, so maybe the fans could latch on to some of that VPW action. Because I know, I was stating earlier, I don't know if it was during the first Frozen time, Frozen 1, not Frozen 2, Frozen 1. I'm not singing it, okay?
It's okay, John. We know you want to sing "Let It Go." It's okay.
No, I'm not. But shit, I lost my train of thought because I got one brain cell. Oh, before the first Frozen, we were talking. Oh shit. Bobby Ocean.
I haven't heard anything about a rematch.
Haven't heard anything about a rematch. There's something I'm missing that I really wanted to bring to light, and it very, very had to do with everything we were talking about, VPW, Mr. Maverick, because you said you were Jason effing Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Mother beeper. That's why maybe I should start writing things down. Holy fuck. So, Mr. Maverick, I know you're taking some time off. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to jump the gun or trying to pull information out of you that probably isn't even down on paper yet or even in your mind. But do you have anything that you're looking forward to once you get yourself right and you're 100, as the peeps say, and you get back out there to VPW, Let's Wrestle, and whatever else you got going on? Is there anyone that you have your sights on? Is there anything specifically that you're looking forward to coming out of the gate and really trying to prove yourself and go against maybe X person? What happens with the tag team championships? Do you get back in to that position? When you get back, do you have any of these things either written down, thought of, or any of that yet?
Well, as I said earlier, you have Sonny Roselli who has stepped in and taken my spot, and if things go well for him and Larry, I wouldn't mind letting them continue doing their thing. I wouldn't mind stepping away and going solo.
Okay.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have some opponents in mind I'd love to wrestle and work with. Some might say it's out of my league at the moment, but that's something I can work with.
Okay. So not a whole Cody Rhodes list. Maybe give us 2 or 3 if possible. Can you do that and share that with us, the fans?
I'd love to work with BRG again. I worked with BRG a couple years ago, about 3 months after my old man died, and he's not, he's just great to work with, and I give a lot of my credit and a lot of my success to BRG, because if it wasn't for Ryan Gosselin, I wouldn't have stepped into the dojo. I wouldn't have been motivated to go to the dojo every week. I wouldn't have been motivated to continue wrestling. Back in my days in IWE, I was training under the Mat and Muscle Wrestling, or as we like to call it, the Dirty Dungeon. We do our warm-ups, our rolls, our we do a little bit of cardio, and then we learn moves. And I feel like maybe it's me, but I wasn't learning the psychology and everything else that goes into wrestling as well. So I think that, once that's why Brett Ryan Goslin was like, hey, you need to get to the dojo. If you want to go anywhere, you need to get to the dojo. That way you're understanding these things and you're getting it. So yeah, I'd love to work with BRG again. Another one I'd love to work with. I don't know if you've seen him because he hasn't been to VPW, and I don't believe he's been at Let's Wrestle. Big Beef Gnarls Galvin.
I'm aware of Big Beef. He's up there at Limitless, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. They have him regularly.
I'd love to work with him. I'd also love to work with the Convoy. What's Abraham Khan? I'd love to work with Abraham Khan again.
Oh.
I haven't worked with Abraham Khan. I'm just saying I'd love to work with him. Sorry. I would love, as crazy as it sounds, I'd love to work with Alec Price.
Dude, that kid has just skyrocketed this last year alone in his career. Really, it's just like, holy shit.
When I first got introduced to Let's Wrestle, he was feuding with CJ Cruz, who you may now recognize as Mortar.
Mortar, yes, sir.
Mortar.
Talk about transformation. Holy crap.
Yeah. I didn't really. I was still in IWA at the time, and I wasn't understanding everything. So it's like, oh, I was just there at the Let's Wrestle shows as a fan because I didn't know what I was supposed to be looking for.
Right.
Or studying wise, But yeah, I'd love to work with Alec Price. Shoot, I'd even love to work with Mortar.
Dude, I'm telling you, what a transformation Mortar has taken. My goodness. I just want to spin back to something that you spoke of when you originally mentioned BRG and getting into the dojo. The psychology part of it, because we can talk moves all you want. You can say, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. But look at BRG right now, the way he connects with fans. That's not moveset. That's psychology through and through right there with that kid. Holy crap.
Yeah, I think dude's a fantastic heel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like he gets the job done for sure. I haven't really seen him. I've never really seen Brett as a good guy. It's just an asshole.
No, same, my friend. We're gonna do another move into the shade here. We're just gonna back up just a wee bit more. Holy cow, it's getting fire hot out there. Holy shit sticks. Sorry. Yeah, BRG, the psychology, what he brings to the table. Love seeing what he's doing. We were just talking with BC Kid, and he mentioned, BRG and some of the other talents that have been making their way on the AEW Dark platform, and the little mean Kathleen's and Waves and Curls and such. Brick City Boys around here, the NJ scene. Good stuff. Seeing our friends, the people that we see all the time at the shows, getting up to these platforms, such as an AEW Dark, and being able to get some more eyes. Because let's be honest, when you're looking at AEW Dark, I know that it's on YouTube, but they have at least 100,000 viewers on each episode. So that's a lot of eyes on those talents. Never mind all of the sharing that everybody does building up to these AEW Dark shows. So that's got to be really cool to see a guy that, BRG was one of those that you very first mentioned, and to see him on a platform such as AEW Dark.
I mean, I love to follow his success, and I think he's going to go places. And I'm not trying to kiss his ass or anything, but I really do think he's going to go places. He definitely has that drive, and he wants it. Like that's really all I could say.
Absolutely. My friend, I know it took a couple times to disconnect and reconnect, and we're going to splice it all together. We've had an amazing time out here in a beautiful out, out here at Casa Heart at my love, spending the afternoon. We're going to check out Jukebox Renegades this evening at the Still in Massachusetts in Agawam. So that's going to be a hootenanny, if you will. My love, we had a fine conversation.
We did.
With one Jason Maverick, Big Country, Jason Maverick. Mr. Maverick, is there anything that we haven't spoken of, that I haven't brought to the table, that you might have had on your mind that you wanted to absolutely speak about that I did not bring up yet? Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Not at the moment, but I think within the next couple hours, I'll probably think of something.
Don't you just love this man? Don't you just want to squeeze him and squeeze him?
I'll grab him by his throat and squeeze him. I'm on Team Q here.
It's a chokehold.
A sleeper hold is good enough.
I'm on Team Q here.
Oh wow!
I mean, yeah. How could you not be? He throws me hearts all the time, and I'm like, oh.
Wow. I may have a concussion or something going on there. I'll have to double check.
He's all sorry.
With the medical facility, local medical facility. Mr. Maverick, what a fantastic time hanging out with you outside on a beautiful day and just talking wrestling. Mr. Maverick, you were open, you were sharing, and I really do appreciate your time setting aside in your life and hanging out with us, the fans, on Stirring the Pot. I appreciate that, my friend.
There's no problem.
Again, I had no control over.
We will see you in September.
Yes, well, we will be up to Maine in September, but Mr. Maverick, he's taking a hiatus.
That's right. I did hear that.
Yes, got some stuff going on, but that's okay.
Well, if you're around, we'll be there Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, hey.
I'll be out of town. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, we'll be in Banger Brewer. Banger in the front and Brewer in the back.
Banger front, Brewer in back.
We'll be there September 17th for VPW. Should be a hootenanny.
We'll come back again just to see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We do love us some Mr. Maverick. From the very first time we met you at VPW, we've had a relationship, a friendship moving forward, and it's been awesome. And we love us some Mr. Maverick. Please, Mr. Maverick, get yourself straight, get yourself together, be 100%. We want to see you back out in that ring, my man.
Well, it'll happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yes. Yeah. What a fantastic time we've had today with our friend. Boys and girls, this is Stirring the Pot with not only Don Kincaid, but my co-host today, Miss Cindy Hart, and our very special guest today, Big Country, Jason Maverick. Thank you so much, my friend.
Hey, you're very welcome.